what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Kendall and I are back here in New York City. This is our third trip to the city. We are here to do radiation. We were here a couple of weeks ago to do simulation for radiation. I'll get into more of that here in just a little bit. But if you're new here, my name is Beef Brody. This is Kendall, and she was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, stage 4 neuroblastoma, and she's been fighting that for about 16 months now. So for context, she was 8 when she was diagnosed. She's now 10. We've been through a lot so far. This kid is absolutely amazing. She is a rock star, but you'll see that in this video and you can determine that for yourself. Now the plan for this video is to kind of share the whole radiation process with you guys, from the consultation and the simulations to the actual treatment, what are side effects like, etc. But before we get into all that stuff, Kendall, how you feeling?
Good.
You excited to be back in the city again? Yeah? Are you nervous about radiation at all?
No.
No? You feeling good?
Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah, I am. I'm always great.
There it is. The $1 million smile. Oh, look, a puppy. Kendall's favorite.
My favorite. I want a Frenchie.
Yeah?
And a pug.
And a pug?
And Baby Yoda. No, I'm joking.
All right, you ready to do this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, full disclaimer before I get into any of this stuff, this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor or any of that kind of stuff. We make these videos to sort of share our experience and what it's like going through these things, and maybe give people coming through some of this behind us a glimpse of what it might look like for them. Now, the first step into all of this radiation stuff was the consultation, right? For the doctors to determine whether she would get proton radiation or photon radiation. And I am not going to even try to pretend to understand what all of the determining factors are that go into that, but like, what's the difference between the two, right? In proton radiation, the protons really kind of hold on to their energy until it stops, like right at the tumor, and then all of the energy gets released, and that's how it kind of works from my understanding. So it goes in, it hits a particular location, and then that energy is released, and that's what it does. In photon radiation, all of the energy in those photons are being released as it's traveling both in and then out of the body. It doesn't have like a start and stop. It just goes through and it's releasing energy that whole time. So in Kendall's case, getting proton radiation, what they're doing is going in through her back and into her side. They kind of hit the original tumor bed and a little bit of the liver and some of these other weird spots on her spine and things like that. So it's just going to go in through her back, hit those areas and stop, versus if she had photon radiation, it would go in her back and then out of her belly or whatever. The nice thing about what she's getting with proton is that she's going to avoid other tissue, other organs getting radiation that could potentially affect reproductive organs and things of that nature. So as you can imagine, we're pretty happy that she was eligible to get the proton radiation over the photon radiation, because she's just going to have less long-term side effects. So the next part of the radiation process was actually coming up here to New York to the Proton Center to do a mold of her body and to do a CT simulation scan. So the mold thing is really neat. They use like these beanbag type pillow things, and they use 2 of them. They put one under her head and one under her legs and hips, and they sort of pushed and molded the beads around the features of her body, and then they hooked it up to a vacuum pump and it sucked all the air out of these things, and it just left like a hard molded form of these beads perfectly molded around her. It's really cool. So that will ensure that she's in the exact same place every single time. And then when she was molded in that position, they did a CT scan. They used the CT scan to then program the radiation machine for everything that it needs to do, and it takes them about 2 weeks to program all that. And I didn't mention this yet either, but the reason they have to do this mold and for her to be in these same positions every time is because she has to do this 14 times. So she'll do 2 treatments a day over 7 business days. So we'll be in town to complete this whole phase of treatment of just radiation in 10 days. It's like done and over with, which I think is really awesome, considering that many cycles of previous treatments, it's been 10 days just to get through one cycle of something that we have to do 6 or 8 times. So 10 days to get this whole chunk done is pretty awesome. so cool.
Sit back and relax.
That's right. All right, first treatment is done. I think it went pretty smooth. How did it go, Kendall?
Good.
How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah? Did you feel anything? No? What was it like? Just kind of like laying there?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like a scan or something.
Like a scan? Yeah. But in a different machine.
Yeah.
The general consensus is that the side effects that she may feel from this, like in the short term, immediately, are nausea and like some skin irritations potentially. So I did pre-med her with Zofran and anti-nausea medicine this morning when we first got here to help prevent that and sort of stay ahead of it instead of maybe she gets nauseous and we have to try to catch up with it. So I was trying to sort of prevent that sort of thing from happening. The skin irritation, the best thing they said that we could do is keep her skin moisturized in the areas that they were radiating, and that should help prevent that for a longer period of time. But it's a pretty low dose, so hopefully that's not something we deal with, but you know, using some lotion is pretty quick and easy. You got any jokes for us today, Kendall?
I have two.
You got 2 jokes. All right, let's hear it.
What do you call a pile of cats?
What do you call a pile of cats? I don't know.
A mountain.
Okay, good one.
And what do you call a bus that's owned by a bee?
What do you call a bus that's owned by a bee?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
A buzz. I made
This girl's-
that one up myself.
This girl's got jokes. All right, so we got to come back for a second treatment this afternoon. We've got about 6 hours between treatments. So what are we gonna do now?
Ice skate.
Ice skating? We're gonna go ice skating. I guess that means we're headed to Rockefeller Center.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I love ice skating.
Just going for it, huh? She's amazing. I don't know how we ended up here. Ice skating at Rockefeller Center. Something I never thought I'd do. Probably thought about a handful of times, maybe, ever. But how cool is this? How cool is this, Kendall? Good idea. She saw this place, you know, the last few times we've been here. And obviously it's like something she wants to do. So here we are. All right, we're gonna skate. What do you think?
So fun.
Yeah? Is this up now on your list of... Oh, you're getting some fancy moves on me. Your list of favorite things in New York?
Yeah.
So cool.
It's my first favorite ever. It's on the top of my list.
All right, number 1. Let's go see some more fancy moves. A little ballerina. Oh, okay. Going to the Olympics, huh?
No.
Well, I definitely didn't think I was going to go ice skating today. It's so cool. Something else that's new for us is that we're staying at the Ronald McDonald house for the first time. And if you're not familiar with the Ronald McDonald house, they provide temporary free housing for children that are fighting cancer while they're doing treatments and stuff like that, which is just amazing. At this one in New York, they've got playrooms for the kids, they've got kitchens, they provide transportation to and from the hospital. There is a wellness center for caretakers where there's a gym in there, you can do yoga, you can get a massage, which is like amazing. It's all really amazing considering the whole thing is run on donations. But we've never stayed at a Ronald McDonald house before, and there's a few reasons why. One is short notice. If you've watched all of our other previous videos, you know that everything has always just been like these sort of sudden events, and we end up admitted at the hospital, and anything that's planned is planned so short notice that there isn't time for the social workers to coordinate things and get us into one. And then in that case, they're usually full anyways. And understanding and realizing that there's such a demand to stay in a Ronald McDonald house, we don't want to take a slot or take a room at the house, as they refer to it as, if we don't need it. And we were fortunate enough in most cases to like not need to stay at a Ronald McDonald house for free. We have other means. We can stay in hotels. You guys have seen us use our RV many times to hang out and stay in during different types of treatments. So we'd rather leave that room available to someone else who really needs it, since we've got other options. But this time we're in New York City, and I don't know if you've heard, but New York is like super expensive. Hotel rooms are like $700 a night, plus transportation to and from the hospital multiple times a day, plus meals. Like, you're looking at like $1,000 a day to be here, plus flights and stuff getting here. Like, it adds up really quickly. So this time we opted to stay here. They had availability. Everyone insisted that we do it. So that's where we're doing it this time. And so far it's been great. I'm now considering making like a whole video on what it's like to stay at the Ronald McDonald house. So if you have like specific questions about it, leave them in the comments and I'll try to include that in a video. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
How's radiation been so far?
Good.
Feel good about it? How's your tummy?
Good.
Good. What are you cooking me over here?
Sink stew.
Sink stew?
Yeah.
That sounds
It
disgusting.
comes from the sink.
Uh-huh. What
Want some?
exactly do you put in sink stew? Or are you gonna share the recipe with us?
I've like the best recipe on earth, so 10 French fries, 6 hot dogs, 1 cantaloupe, and 1 tomato. Oh yeah, and fruit juice, tea, and tomato sauce, ketchup and mustard, and pepper, and corn. Want some?
Sure, I'd love some. This is questionable. I don't know about that. Just kidding. Best sink stew I've ever had. Duh. Man, this kid is amazing. She just impresses me all the time. But I'll be honest, putting your kid into a radiation machine is a pretty mixed bag of emotions, you know, where it's just like, I just hate that she has to go through any of this stuff and any of these treatments at all. But I'm also really happy that the technology exists to get her through this in the first place. So the treatment itself is really pretty simple and straightforward. You know, once we get checked in, she goes into a changing room, she puts the gown on, eventually call her back into the radiation room where they have like her favorite songs playing, which is usually Taylor Swift, of course. Then they get her on the table, they make sure she's fit into the form and that sort of thing, and then the arm like swings in to the machine. And then the actual treatment itself only takes like 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm sure that that time frame can vary on like a case-by-case basis. Anyways, that's 1 day down, 6 days to go. I'll follow up with you guys next week on how things shake out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.